From translation, TLB, the Living Bible. This 48th day of the year. Today we are reading passages, Numbers 14 to 15. Numbers chapter 14, verses 1 to 45. Then the whole community began to talk about stoning Moses and Aaron to death. But they said to each other, "We should choose a new leader and go back to Egypt." Then they said, "The Lord brought us here to this land to die. It would have been far better to have stayed in Egypt, where we could at least eat all the food we wanted." They even plotted to choose a leader and return to Egypt. Then Moses and Aaron fell face down on the ground before the whole assembly of Israel. Joshua son of Nun and Caleb son of Jephunneh, two of the men who had explored the land, tore their clothes and said to the entire community of Israel, "The land we explored is an excellent land, a land flowing with milk and honey. If the Lord is pleased with us, he will lead us safely into that land and give it to us. It is a wonderful land, and the Lord our God will give it to us. But don't rebel against the Lord, and don't be afraid of the people of that land. They are only helpless prey for us. The Lord is with us. Don't be afraid of them." But the whole community began to talk about stoning them. Then the glory of the Lord appeared to all the people at the tabernacle. And the Lord said to Moses, "How long will these people treat me with contempt? How long will they refuse to believe in me, in spite of all the miraculous signs I have done among them? I will strike them with a plague and destroy them. Then I will make you into a nation greater and more powerful than they are." But Moses said to the Lord, "If you kill all these people, the nations who have heard your fame will say, 'The Lord wasn't able to bring these people into the land he promised them, so he killed them in the wilderness.' Now may the Lord's power be shown great as you have declared, for you have said, 'The Lord is slow to anger and rich in unfailing love, forgiving every kind of sin and rebellion. But he does not excuse the guilty. He lays the sins of the parents upon their children. The entire family is affected, even children in the third and fourth generations. In accordance with your great mercy, please pardon the sins of these people, just as you have forgiven them ever since they left Egypt." And the Lord replied, "I have forgiven them as you asked. Nevertheless, as surely as I live, and as surely as the earth is filled with the Lord's glory, not one of these people will ever enter the land I solemnly promised to their ancestors. They are all stubborn rebels. I will not let them enter that beautiful land I have given them." The Lord continued, "But I will spare their children. I will bring them into the land, and they will enjoy it, even though their parents didn't obey me. As for you, get back into the wilderness, and your journey will be as I told you at the beginning. You will wander in the wilderness for 40 years, 1 year for each of the 40 days you explored the land. This will be a time of testing to prove your faithfulness, to see whether or not you will follow my instructions. Your children will be shepherds, wandering in the wilderness for 40 years, suffering for your unfaithfulness, until the last of your bodies has perished in the desert. But I will bring my servant Caleb into the land he explored. I will give him and his descendants it as their possession, for they have wholeheartedly followed me. Now turn around and go back into the wilderness along the route to the Red Sea." Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "How long must I endure this wicked community that keeps complaining about me? I have heard all their criticisms, which have become loud and strong. Tell them this, as surely as I live, I will do to you the very things I heard you say. I, the Lord, swear that not one of you will ever enter the land I solemnly promised to give your ancestors. You will all die in the wilderness. But your little children, the ones you said would be captured, I will bring into the land. They will enjoy it. But as for you, you will turn back into the wilderness and die there. You said, 'Our little children will be captured. Our wives and children will be taken as plunder. We might as well go back to Egypt.' But I, the Lord, will bring your children into the land, and they will enjoy it. You will die in the wilderness. Your children will be shepherds there for 40 years, suffering for your unfaithfulness, until the last of your bodies has perished. For 40 years, 1 year for each of the 40 days you explored the land, you will suffer for your sins and know what it is like to have me against you. I, the Lord, have spoken. And I will surely do these things to this whole wicked community that has gathered together against me. They will meet their doom here in the desert." The 10 men who had gone with Moses to explore the land came back to the camp and caused the whole community to grumble against Moses by spreading discouraging reports about the land. These men who spread the bad report about the land were struck down by a plague from the Lord and died. Of the 12 men who had explored the land, only Joshua and Caleb remained alive. When Moses reported all this to the people, they were filled with grief and mourned all night. The next morning they got up early and went toward the high hill country, saying, "We are ready to go now. We have sinned, but we will try to enter the land the Lord has promised us." But Moses said, "Why are you disobeying the Lord's command? This will never work. Do not go up, for the Lord is not with you. You will be defeated by your enemies, for the Amalekites and the Canaanites will be there waiting to fight you, and you will be crushed by them. The Lord will not be with you." But they defiantly pushed on toward the hill country. though neither the ark of the covenant of the Lord nor Moses left the camp. Then the Amalekites and the Canaanites who lived in that hill country came down and attacked them and chased them as far as Hormah. Numbers chapter 15, verses 1 to 41. The Lord gave Moses the following instructions for the people of Israel. When you enter the land I am giving you, and you harvest your crops, you must bring an offering to the Lord. You may present this offering as a burnt offering, or as a sacrifice to fulfill a vow, or as a voluntary offering, or as your regular grain offering, or as drink offerings to please the Lord with its pleasing aroma. If you present a grain offering, whether baked in an oven or prepared in a pan or on a griddle, you must present 1/10 of an ephah of the finest flour, mixed with 1 quart of pure olive oil. With it you must present 1/4 of a pint of wine as a drink offering. If you present an animal sacrifice as a burnt offering to the Lord, whether from the herd or the flock, you must present a male without any defect. You may offer a sheep or a goat, but it must be without defect. If you offer a bull as a burnt offering, or as a sacrifice to fulfill a vow, or as a peace offering to the Lord, you must also present with the bull a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of the finest flour, mixed with 1/2 quart of olive oil. And you must present a drink offering of 1/2 pint of wine, which will be a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Each animal, whether from the herd or the flock, that you sacrifice must be without any defect. If you offer a lamb as a burnt offering, you must present a male without defect. You may offer a lamb from the sheep or goats as a voluntary offering, or to fulfill a vow, or as your regular peace offering. If you present a goat, it must be without defect. Everyone, whether native Israelite or a foreigner living among you, must follow these same rules when presenting an offering by fire as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. The same regulations will apply to all of you, whether native Israelite or a foreigner living among you. The Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. When you enter the land I am giving you and you harvest your grain, you must set aside a portion of it as a gift to the Lord. You must present this to the Lord as a gift from the first batch of your grinding. It is to be a permanent law for you and your descendants. So also when you make bread from new grain, you must set aside a portion as a gift to the Lord. Present this to the Lord as a permanent law for you and your descendants. From the first batch of your grinding, you must give this to the Lord as a contribution from your threshing floor. Now, suppose you unintentionally fail to carry out all these commands that the Lord has given you through Moses. From all the commands the Lord has given you throughout the generations to come, and from all the special laws I have given you. If the whole community of Israel sins unintentionally by breaking any of the commands the Lord has given Moses, then the community must present a young bull as a burnt offering and bring it to the tabernacle as a special gift to make atonement for their sin before the Lord. They must also present the prescribed grain offering and drink offering and a male goat for a sin offering. The whole community will be forgiven, but remember, this applies only to unintentional sins. The people will be held responsible for their sins. If one person sins unintentionally, that person must bring a 1-year-old female goat as a sin offering. The priest will then perform the ritual to remove the sin of the person who sinned unintentionally, and the person will be forgiven. But those who sin defiantly, whether native Israelites or foreigners among you, are blaspheming the Lord, and they will be cut off from the community, since they have treated the Lord's command with contempt and defiantly disobeyed him. They must be completely cut off and suffer the penalty of their sin. This is to be a permanent law for you, to distinguish between the holy and the common, between the ceremonially clean and unclean. One day, while the people of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering wood on the Sabbath day. The people who found him gathering wood brought him to Moses and Aaron and the entire community. They held him in custody because they didn't know what to do with him. Then the Lord said to Moses, "The man must die. The whole community must stone him outside the camp." So the whole community took him outside the camp and stoned him to death, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. The Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. Make tassels for the edges of your clothing, and attach them with a blue cord to each corner. These tassels will help you remember the commands of the Lord. When you see the tassels, you will recall all the commands of the Lord and obey them instead of following your own desires and evil thoughts. The tassels will show you that you are devoted to the Lord your God, and that you may follow his commands and not become unfaithful by chasing after your own desires and evil thoughts. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord your God,